Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking a few minutes to join us today. I am Eileen Tesch from Algonac, Michigan. I will be hosting our training, and we have our special guest, Scott Montgomery, who is going to spotlight the Relive Kalogris Foundation and just share some of his insights and his memories and nuggets about growing up with and building Relive. There. Okay. Just a little background. My husband and I have been with Relive now over 14 years. I used to be an attorney. My husband was a veterinarian. We were working 80, 100 hours a week, stressed out, burned out, and really didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel, not to mention that, we were just fired all the time. We got started on the Relive products, and in 2 weeks, I quit smoking. By the end of the month, lost 10 pounds, my depression disappeared, my skin cleared up. People started noticing the change in me, wanted to know what I was doing, and I just connected them with my support team. And that was one thing that just intrigued me so much about the company that made me take a serious look is the support and the mentoring, people that are making a lot of money, some ridiculous incomes, and had a fraction of the education that I had. My husband, when he got started on the products, he was suffering bone on bone in his knees, standing up for 45 years on concrete floors, practicing veterinary medicine. He was scheduled for carpal tunnel surgery, had severe sleep apnea, and a lot of digestive issues, diverticulitis. Within about 6 weeks, all that dissipated. The pain subsided so much, he even canceled his carpal tunnel surgery. He's never had knee replacement surgery. And I mean, really, it is unbelievable. But on the other hand, it's just the miracle of the body healing itself. He doesn't snore anymore, gets good night's rest. He's 72 years old, on no medication, and we're just enjoying life and enjoying a quality of life that we only dreamed about. He doesn't have any more stomach issues, but he was so impressed with the quality and safety of the products, started recommending it in his practice with the animals because it's so safe. And even some of his clients started wanting to know more, and a business was born. Fast forward in 3 years, I resigned from the law firm, and my husband has since sold his hospital. We do this full time. We love what we do, sharing hope with people. The income is wonderful, but if it was about the money, I think we'd still be stuck in our careers, because that is not what really opened our eyes and our hearts. It was seeing lives being changed. We are excited to be going on the next Hawaii trip, and that just means we've helped a lot of people get better, feel healthier, even start a home-based business, and just blessing people. What this company's done for me, above all, is that it's given me passion and purpose back in my life, and that is priceless. So I just want to take a minute now and bring on Scott Montgomery. He's grown up with Relive, and so he sees things and has memories and nuggets that we could only imagine what it was like when his parents decided that this is what they needed to do to share this gift with the world. So Scott, if you would just come on, *6, and just share a few minutes of your background, and then we'll get into the training and have you come back and show us the amazing work that the Relive Kalogris Foundation is doing around the world.
All right, thank you, Eileen, and yeah, I'm excited to share some things later about what's happening in the foundation, and I want to thank you and Jennifer for inviting me on this call, and it's an honor to be on it. And I'm kind of looking at all the people out there that have tuned in, and I see a list of veteran distributors and new people, which is good. And I just hope everyone is safe and healthy kind of during this kind of unusual time. So, but anyway, just real quick, and I appreciate you sharing your story, Eileen, and I'll share my story real quick. And my story is probably, unique, because I really wasn't brought into the company. I was not really born into it, but I was 12 years old, when I started taking Dr. Ted's product. And so, so I've got a little bit of a different take on things, and just quickly a little bit about me. The company actually was started in October of 1988, and I started in January of 1989, so just 3 months into it. And but before that, I had been taking Dr. Ted's product since 1982, and that's when Dr. Ted first met my mom and dad. And obviously, my mom and dad were the founders of the company back in 1988. I'm gonna kind of jump around a little bit from years, but yeah, I first started taking the product when I was 12 years old, 1982. And this was a product that, Dr. Ted had created for himself. There's lots of stories out there about, Dr. Ted, and some are true and some aren't true. And, I've kind of, since I've kind of grown up with the company, and I knew Dr. Ted personally, and I remember mom and dad sitting down at the kitchen table and formulating a plan to put together to start this company. So I remember the early days, and, kind of flash forward, here it is 32 years later. And as president of the company, I handle a lot of the operations for the company. Some of you may or may not know that, but worldwide handle the operations. The international has always been kind of special to me and important to me. So I president of the international markets, and focus on Mexico and Relive Asia Pacific and Europe, but most people here in the States know me as the chairman of the foundation, and so that's what I'll share a little bit later. But just real quick, just kind of going back, to some of the early days, and some of you've heard, Dad talk about this from stage, probably is probably a lot, and know the story and have heard the story. But I had two grandparents, when I was young, probably 10, 11, two grandparents, my mom's dad and my dad's mom, actually had health issues and, heart disease and cancer. And so it was after the both of them passed, it's when Dad got interested in nutrition and learned about, just the correlation of good nutrition and good health. And like I said, it was 1982 and when, mom and dad met Dr. Ted. And, Dr. Ted actually was a speaker at a nutritional event in Kansas City. And it was there when mom and dad started taking the products, and they got to understand the formula that Dr. Ted had put together, the science behind it. And really for the next 6 years, it was our family that was kind of taking Dr. Ted's product. And you might find this interesting, Eileen, and with your story there, but with Jim, when, the story is true, Dr. Ted was injured in World War II and crippled and spent, the rest of the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and most of the 70s, he was into animal nutrition and animal science. That was his passion. And he studied that and understood it. And it was about 1978, 4 years before he met my mom and dad, is when he got into human nutrition and weight loss, and again, the correlation between long-term weight loss and good health, and he just considered nutrition to be a key component to long-term weight loss there. So kind of moving ahead, 1987, we've been taking the products, but my dad had come down with a brain tumor, and that year successfully had that removed. He recovered quickly, and he just knew that it was a result of taking Dr. Ted's product for the past 5, 6 years or so. So that's when Relive was founded, back in 1988. And, most people don't know this, or haven't really thought of it. But if you think of our motto of nourishing our world, now really is the first product that we started with. People think it was Classic, but it was actually Now. That is, Dr. Ted's product. It was later we introduced the Classic as Dr. Ted's original product. His original product had a coconut flavor and just a little bit different, but we introduced that later and that became the Classic. So Now is the first product because Dr. Ted was interested in weight loss as well. We had a weight loss product called Ultram. That was our number 2 product. And that was the product line back in the early 1990s. And, it was a passion of Dr. Ted was the product. And that became my mom's passion. My mom was very passionate about the products, very, very passionate about the family. And that's why she and Dr. Ted were so close. My dad, he did have the great health results on the product, recovering from his brain surgery, but Dad was really interested in the business side. And so that's where, that's what kind of kept him going and his mind going. And he didn't really struggle, but he knew, early on that direct selling was kind of the preferred method because he knew that was the most efficient way to share these products with others. And at the same time, have others benefit in the additional income for people. So anyway, Mom was very, passionate about the products and Dad was very passionate about the opportunity and that's how Relive kind of came together. Dad wanted something that had the flexibility for people to work from home, kind of work at your own pace, set your own goals, personal development. Everybody that's been around Relive for a long time knows that personal development is a big part of what Dad has talked about from stage. And he knew that this industry was a big part of making people better. The social side, meeting new people, having fun, that is something we've always, wanted to do as a part of this company. So, to kind of break it all down, we basically, in the late 80s, we were a family that ran across a product. We got great benefits from this product. And if you think about it, it's really not that much different today. All of you on the phone have come across the Relive products and you're out there just sharing just like we did in the early days of the company. We had a product we liked, we wanted to share it with others, and we did so with a passion. So I'm going to kind of stop there for a little bit, Eileen, and like I said, I can always talk the international markets all day long because that's a passion of mine. But I'll come back later and talk about the RKF and spend some more time there. So I'll just kind of turn it back to you at this point and let you continue.
Thank you so much, Scott. We never get tired of hearing, because imagine where we would be if not for Relive and for this nutrition and the heart and vision of your parents and Dr. Ted. So we will always be grateful. Thank you. Here's corporate headquarters in Chesterfield, Missouri, and know that all the products come out of this plant, the research and development. So, and it's tested and retested before it gets sent out. So that is something that my husband particularly, lawyers don't have a good reputation to begin with, but my husband being a doctor wanted to make sure the integrity of the company obviously was squeaky clean. And one opportunity to meet corporate leaders and the scientists and learn about the clinical studies was what changed everything for us. So people are looking for answers, and Relive has the solution. Obviously, the products speak for themselves. We'll go over those briefly. The compensation plan. People are hurting out there. We're here in Michigan. We're still shut down, locked down. But Relive has put together a success system that no matter where you are and what your background is or how old you are, that by engaging in the success system that you too can build a very, very lucrative business, or you can just earn enough income to get your products paid for. We have a small suite of products, but each one is powerful in and of itself. And I always have to remember that these are standalone products, even though I start everybody either with the classic or now the core nutrition and the energize. That's what I have found to be the best way for them to get started, not to get overwhelmed, and to also get fast results. When I got started, I wasn't really given a choice. I started with the classic Energize and Fiber store. We call it the Mighty Three because that's what my sister who introduced us to the company, that's what she was started on. So we're all about duplication. And I will just go through real briefly, as I said, the core nutrition here heals the body at the epigenetic level. And there's a blog out there now with Dr. Galvez and Tina Van Horn. Do take a minute and read the blog that Dr. Galvez has put together. It's an article on epigenetics, and that's a whole new field that is changing and will change the whole wellness industry. So targeted solution, digestive health, and I always tell the story that Dr. Hastings said one day, if he were on a deserted island and he could only take one product, guess which product it would be? And everybody guessed, the Now and Classic, and he said, no, it's the fiber store. He said, if the fiber store, not only, with its 10 grams of soluble and insoluble fiber, so important for the blood and lymphatic system, but it has 25 digestive enzymes for the gut. And so much research is coming out now about the correlation between the gut and wellness, but also cognitive abilities. Artifact, double patented product. My husband can't live without it. It's very high in turmeric, which is really, the buzzword in the whole nutrition area, in the whole nutrition world right now. Gotta have turmeric, gotta have turmeric. Well, Relive Again is leading the field and has been out front. Cardio Essentials for heart health, Glucofect for blood sugars. First conference we went to when we got started with Relive and weren't sure what we were going to do here, if we could ever be successful, because we really weren't trained. We didn't understand this business model, but we drove 5 hours to Chicago and they were launching the Glucofect. And that's when my husband saw the clinical studies and had an opportunity to meet the leaders. Because he said, I'm too busy, I don't really want to get involved in this. And I said, let's just go take a look, and we can change everything. The Reverse Age, anti-aging, one of the most powerful anti-aging products on the market, if not the most powerful, that has been formulated, unbelievable results. ProVantage, for performance, muscle recovery, strength, soy essentials for women's issues, the energized hydration. We are not getting hydrated. Water is not working anymore. We need to take hydration to a whole new level. But Dr. Hastings said that the energize, and you can see it spelled INNER because it helps, it's the taxi cab to deliver the nutrients at the cellular level. And of course, the 24K, can't live without it. More than just energy, improves focus, and for me, relieves stress. And that was, love that product. Our new product here is Defense for Immune Support. It's amazing that they were working on this 2 years ago. And look where our world is now. So just so grateful that now we have something to really strengthen the immune system, and thousands of clinical studies on the ingredients. The hemp extracts, Definitely a field that people are looking at to help them with their pain. When we went to the conference and had an opportunity to walk through the plant, the CEO was talking about the three things that are destroying our families and our world. And one is pain, the other one is depression, anxiety, and lack of sleep. And we are the only company that has a CBD product with melatonin. So let's just talk real briefly about the compensation plan, because that's the key. You know, if you haven't heard, you may hear, oh, your products are too expensive. Well, compared to what? And how much is your health worth? But when you break it down just by servings, I mean, you're looking at less than a cup of coffee or a daily dose or regimen of Relive. But you can also earn some income and get your products paid for. So there's 5 ways to earn income. And right now, there's a promotion to help everyone that wants to get started, wants to get involved. They reduce the membership, the application fee from $40 to $20. So here's a couple options. The quick start, just to get your foot in the door, get about 90 days of products, and even maybe have a couple to share if that's what you want, but you save $125 and your free shipping. That's by $170. Here's the retail profit, $100. Let's just say, as I start people, the classic or now with the Energize, it's $100. And so you can earn anywhere between 10 and 40%. The beauty is, and the power of this nutrition is that it's safe for everyone. There's no warning labels, haven't had a recall in 32 years, and it doesn't interfere with any medication. It's just so safe and effective. The second way we get paid, or you can earn some income, is wholesale profits. So if you have other individuals that maybe want a larger volume of products, or they have friends or people that they want to introduce to the company at any level that they choose to come in or they're working up to, if you're at the 40%, which is the top profit level, the master affiliate level, and that really is the key level. That's the level of the business building level. You will receive wholesale profits, the difference between what your other distributors are at and the 40%. So here's the overrides. Overrides are key. I think J. Paul Getty said, unless you're earning income when you're sleeping, you'll never get ahead. So because, you know, we're all taught, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, work real hard, and you'll be set for life. Well, how's that working? And I think one of the most important things, or the silver lining that's come out of this pandemic, it's really opened up people's eyes that they've got to figure out another way. And the overrides, it's simply when you help other people build their distribution network, you invest in them, you help get them trained and mentored, and as they continue to grow, the company will pay you month after month residual income. And so what happens when you share with 3 people? Now, this is just an example. You know, this is a perfect world. It's never going to be like this, but it just gives you an idea how quickly. That's why, as Scott touched on, Bob Montgomery, his father, wanted to take a serious look at direct selling because it can grow and multiply so fast. So the 4th way is cash bonuses and trips. There's a beautiful trip promotion to Maui, Hawaii. We went last year, and you really don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss any trip. Have an opportunity to spend 4 or 5 days with the leaders and corporate. It just changes everything. After we went full time after 3 years and started working for our first trip, we didn't think we could do it. Working closely with our sponsor and upline and support team, we made that trip, and it was a Disney cruise. And we've never missed a trip. because we know how it impacted our business, the relationships that we built there and continue to have today. And this Maui trip was just a trip of a lifetime. And you can still qualify, and we'll talk about that. The ambassador program, if you love to help teach and train people, the company's growing so fast, and always, like every company, is looking for the best of the best. And the ambassador program rewards you to help others. So this is our success system, very simple, 5 steps, and we do this every day, and we do this with each person we meet. For new people, I have one woman, she was a massage therapist that got laid off with this COVID. The hospital obviously was shut down where she worked. And so we just started her out very simple. Start making a list of who you want to talk to. Well, she made a list. I think she has over 300 or 400 people on that list. She just sat down. Now, she'd been on the products a year. And she was referred to me by the company. She simply called the company to order products that her daughter-in-law's mother was taking, a nurse who had amazing results and only taken the classic. So that's, like I said, these products are standalone, but her heart changed with COVID, and now to see her transformation of first, we're contacting these people here, and we break it down because she has so many. We broke it down. Okay, why are you thinking of this person? And what's your relationship to them? And so that we make it personal. It's not like we're here to sell. I love what somebody says. We often hear, oh, you're just trying to sell me something or get me involved. And I learned a long time ago, the best response to that is, no, I'm here to give you something. I'm here to share a gift with you. What you choose to do with it is up to you. But if I never shared it with you, we never could have known or would have known what could have been, either with better health, financial freedom, finding your passion. That's what resonates with people. And you have a small window of opportunity because we're such a microwave society. Everybody wants everything now and they want it fast. And so when you talk to their heart, that they will stop and just for even a few minutes to listen when you really care about them. And Bob Montgomery, his famous words, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And connecting with people, it can be as simple as sending them a video, getting them on a webinar, or just sharing a story. And I never really understood what a story meant, the importance, the power, until I went to a conference and I remember Tom Pinnock saying, why do we share stories? Because people will forget what they heard faster than they will forget how they felt about what they heard. And sharing a story, there's a famous a quote that I have now just embraced, and I found it just a few months ago. We become the stories we listen to. And that's why with Relive, the more stories you listen to, I work with this dynamite woman. Most of you know her, Irma Schneider, 90 years young. Every morning she gets up, she does her 40 minutes of exercises, and then she listens to a story before she even starts her day. So connecting somebody to a story will help them see a bigger picture. And then ask for a decision. What did you like best about what you saw? What resonated with you? Where do you see yourself getting started? And always, again, I don't close people. I simply, just this past week, I have a woman I've been working with for the past 90 days. She's suffering from severe fibromyalgia, blood clots, back pain. The list goes on and on. She's in her early 60s. It just breaks my heart, but we've been working so close together and doing follow-up and connecting her to stories. Well, it was time for her to reorder, and she mentioned she would, she needed a few cans of this and a few cans of that. Well, then she was on my heart, and I reached out to my friend Maureen Sowens, who has also had amazing results, health results, and I asked Maureen to share. And after Maureen shared her story, then my friend, my distributor decided, you know what, let's go for it. I need to become a master affiliate. I need to get, I need to make a serious commitment. I am committed, but now I need to take it to the next level, and I'm gonna get my husband on it. And this beautiful couple, they're retired farmers, so their body has taken a beating. So who knows what the future brings, but all I know is that she's moving forward and getting healthy. And so register. And then, as I said, follow-up is the key. There's so many different schedules for follow-up. I tell people, just give me 90 days. 90 days, you work with me, do exactly what I say, and I'm not gonna argue with you, but I guarantee, as much as I can guarantee, these products have never let me down. 90 days will change your life. With Relive, with the nutrition, with the stories, and I've seen it over and over and over, and that's why I love what I do, and we're all excited about this opportunity. Rarely ever meet a person in Relive that isn't excited. And if they're not excited, they just probably are still new. And so register and go. As I said, we have a new promotion. They waived the $10 for the preferred customer. So here's a little bit about the success system, using your support team. And I hear people say all the time, well, you're lucky, you have an upline. I said, are you kidding me? If my upline was my sister, she's a caterer. 14 years ago, we got in 5 minutes apart. She became a master affiliate. She gave me her credit card. She told me I'm going to become a master affiliate. I didn't even want to do this business. I didn't even know what I was doing. And the first question I asked somebody, who's going to train me? And they said, well, what about your, who signed you up? That's your upline. They're going to train you. I go, forget it. We got dumb and dumber going on. I need someone I can work with close. So I kept looking for the who's up above, who's next. Well, one person was out of country. One person was across the country. And then I finally reached up and found somebody to work with. Now, I didn't work with her very long. And I reached sideways and I listened to calls. I wrote down who was presenting and reached out to them. This business is simple. We make it hard, and it's whatever you do, remember, is it has to be duplicatable. So the system, again, we have this a webinar every Wednesday. There's our Saturday training. There's the Commit to Success. If you're not on Positively Charged Facebook page, you want to ask to be invited. There's so much that you can use to expose people to Relive and the possibilities. So the International Virtual Conference, more details are coming up on that soon, and they just did one last weekend or 2 weeks ago, Freedom Now, and it was phenomenal. We're like, if you haven't listened to Ryan Montgomery, President CEO of Relive Now, he just did a video about how we have moved into the future at record pace, something that they were looking at 2030 to do as far as technology. We're doing it today. And so they had to make an executive decision to cancel the conference, and now it's going to be virtual. And I heard there's so many exciting plans in the works here. Tom Pinnock, know your website, go through the website. There's always new videos, new additions. They're just keeping up on top. The bonus, there's so many opportunities to earn income, and most importantly, help others to earn it. So with the different promotions, get together with the person that you're working with or your new person and go through these promos with them. It's very exciting. With that, I would like to now turn it back over to Scott because the Relive Kalogris Foundation is the heartbeat of this company, and there's never a dry eye at conference after Scott gets done talking about what he has been doing with the foundation and the lives he's been changing. So thank you again, Scott. And then we'll finish up with the video.
Okay, awesome job, Eileen, and I appreciate that. I'm just gonna kind of go off the cuff here a little bit and kind of let people know that, you know, last Thursday, I guess it was the day before or the Thursday before the Memorial Day weekend there, we had a board meeting, and yesterday on Friday at Relive, we had a all employee kind of conference call where we had everybody on the phone and everybody that works here in Chesterfield, and just wanted to kind of catch up with everybody. And June 1st is when we're going to slowly start coming back to work. We're only going to be kind of a 20 to 25% of our staff each day, and we're going to rotate, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So some people will be in here at different times, but we're going to slowly kind of get back to normal a little bit with whatever normal is. But I can tell you on that board meeting that we just had and the conference call that we just had internally yesterday, the level of optimism in our company is as high as it's been in a long time. And it's because of all the things that you just talked about, Eileen, the technology, the events coming up. Yeah, the St. Louis conference is going to be turned into this virtual conference. And honestly, we've got a Europe conference coming up in October. More than likely, that'll be turned into a global virtual conference. We've got a Philippine national conference coming up in November. More than likely, that'll be a global virtual conference hosted out of Manila there. So we've got a lot of good things that are coming up. And I can tell you, just, you know, tell everybody on this phone that, you know, where we are at today, and in light of all the things that are happening in the world, our world is getting smaller. We've got more and more people that are communicating using Zoom, working across borders. We've got people in the Philippines that are doing Zoom calls in Mexico. We've got some people in the US Hispanic that are sponsoring back into the States. We've got Filipinos working in Malaysia. We've got Americans working in Europe and the Philippines. We've got people working across the border, and the Relive world is shrinking, and we're very excited about that. All of this remote working from home, not just here in Chesterfield, but it's been working very well in Mexico, Europe, Asia, Australia. And we're just very proud that we've been able to continue the manufacturing with Nutricom, processing orders online, and continuing to ship product out. So like I said, the level of optimism is at an all-time high, and it's because we've got a product that people are interested in. People are looking to improve their health. We've got a work from home model where people can benefit and earn an income. And then I want to, you know, now talk about the Kalogris Foundation, which is kind of the third pillar. You always hear Tom talk about the three pillars: the health, the income side, and then the third pillar is the RKF. And it's obviously it's one of my passions in the company as the chairman. And I just want to, Eileen or Jen, I'm going to kind of just go through these slides here, and I'll just tell you when to kind of scroll through, if that's okay. We'll just kind of keep it at this. Yeah, we'll kind of keep at this first slide. And we use this slide a lot because we like it, and it's a sweet slide. And you know, I can tell people on the phone that the RKF, it's the charitable, you know, arm of the company. It's the not-for-profit side, and you know, the mission is nourishing our world. And, you know, we're not a disaster relief. There's a lot of people that think that, you know, RKF, disaster relief foundations are more that, you know, a hurricane or a earthquake or something happens. You've got foundations or groups that run in there and they stay for, you know, a couple weeks or a month, and then they're back out. That is not us. We are a foundation that is long-term in all of these countries that we have feeding programs or nutrition programs in. And we've got great relationships with our coordinators, our volunteers, mayors, clergy, to accomplish the things that we need to do in these programs. And a lot of you on the phone or on this call know that, you know, Haiti is a big, we've got lots of programs in Haiti, the Philippines, Malaysia. We have built through the years just a lot of trust with those people. They trust us. They know that we're not there to exploit them, and we just have really good working relationships with those people. Let's just go to the next slide here a little bit. I'm really just showing a lot of pictures, and some of these are old pictures, some of these are new pictures. Again, it's you know, just some of the ones that we like to share. Getting pictures, I can tell this group, is always kind of a challenge. It's been difficult for us to travel to Haiti or the Philippines lately, just because of the conditions, and so we haven't been able to kind of update. Sometimes we get updated pictures from our coordinators, and we love and appreciate that. And some of these pictures are from earlier this year, as a matter of fact. But the foundation, we serve thousands of people, mostly kids. You know, we have a lot of programs, or I shouldn't say programs, but recipients right here in the States. But those stories are harder for us to talk about. Those are people that either have had a health crisis or a financial crisis, and those are difficult, and we don't really talk about that much. So we show the pictures and talk about the programs that we can, which is why most often you see us talk about Haiti and the Philippines. And so we serve over 250,000 shakes a month in all of these programs. We have got, and how do we do that? Just kind of the next slide. This is a picture of Dr. Mano and Kathy Brawley at one of our feeding programs in Haiti. And they're one of just over 700 volunteers that we have to help us carry out our mission every day. So these are people that, while they're not distributors, they believe as much in the product as all of you do. And so you see that 5-gallon container there, that's typically, whether it be in Haiti or the Philippines, that's how we serve the product. We try to find the cleanest water we can find. Sometimes it's difficult in Haiti, sometimes it's easy in other parts of the world. So you'll see a bucket of water, you'll see a couple cans, you know, that are dropped in, it's mixed, and then it's served into either a cup. Sometimes in the Philippines, you'll see plastic baggies. It's usually delivered in a, you know, like that, a cup or a plastic baggie or things like that. So we can't do any of what we do without our volunteers. Like I said, these are people that love Relive as much as anybody, because they're there. They are kind of a frontliner. You're hearing that a lot, and they are our front lines in the foundation, because they're there every single day making sure that the products are delivered. On this next slide, which is something that is important to me, and I think all of us, is that, you know, 97% of everything that the foundation takes in goes right back into product. And that, I think the average in the foundation is about 75%. And that number will kind of adjust between 95, 96, 97%. It depends on if we have a big conference and we've got some extra marketing expenses, that number will drop, you know, to say 95 or 96%. If we have a year where we're doing some mission trips to Haiti or the Philippines, that number will hover around that 95, 96%. But sometimes it's up there. So anyway, it's really between 95 and 97%, and that's the reason why. The company Relive we cover all of the expenses. And so whether it be, we don't have an office next door that is the foundation. The foundation is run out of the office. So we don't have any lease, we don't have any utilities. All the operating expenses, and overhead are covered by the foundation. So that is a big deal, and it's something that we're proud of. The company covers the expenses. The distributors are responsible for the donations. So, and that is something I don't know that if we cover enough for people. I'll go to that next slide. But this foundation is distributor driven. Distributors decide if we're delivering 250,000 shakes a month or 500,000 shakes a month. It all depends on donations that come in. We can only work with the dollars that come in. So if donations are down, not as much product is sent out. If donations are up, we're able to send out a lot of product. So it's really dependent and driven by distributors. This slide, we just try to keep it very simple. $5 equals a can of Kids Now, or $10 equals 2 cans. And a can of Kids Now typically will last recipient about 30 days. So mostly Kids Now is what you're gonna see in the foundation. We actually have 2 cans of Kids Now. You're gonna see a can on the business side, which is the can that you're all familiar with. But we actually have a can of Kids Now that is specially for the foundation. It's in a taller can. So it's in the size of can that you would see like Now or Classic in. So it's in that larger can. We don't include a scoop. And the reason we don't do that is to save cost, because like I said before, a can simply is just dumped into a 5-gallon bucket. We don't need the scoop in there. We don't have the Luna Rich in there in the RKF, although this is a business can right there that does show the Luna Rich, but the product that we send to the foundations does not include the Luna Rich. Why? Because the kids were getting results before that, and we can keep costs down. And so it's all a matter of, if we keep that cost down, we can supply more product to the kids in these nutrition centers. So if you kind of go to that next slide, it just talks about how to donate as a Relive distributor. We try to make this very simple as well. A lot of people on this phone, I would imagine, are master affiliates and might donate their PVQ. And we love that. That's a big part of the donations that come in, honestly, but not everybody is a master affiliate. So I'm going to kind of just talk about, 2 ways that even non-master affiliates, can donate to the foundation. And that's, we do have a Now We Can pack, and that's open to all levels, not just master affiliates and above. It is a $60 donation, very similar to PVQ, satisfies your PVQ, and it's a one-time or a monthly. You get to decide that. That's an easy way for more people to make a donation to the foundation. And then we've got just to make a cash donation. So if you look at that very last little bullet point in your shopping cart, throughout the order process, you're going to see a little button kind of on that left-hand side. If you click on that, there's a drop-down box that you can pick, $1, $10, $20, and make a cash donation there. So you get points for that as a distributor. Again, you can do that every order. You can do it once a month. It's really that flexible and that easy. So the next slide there is Amazon Smile. A lot of people aren't aware of this, but those of you that use Amazon Smile, you can go on and register yourself, and every time you make a purchase, there's going to be a percentage of your sale that goes to the RKF, and it's just a nice way, to kind of help give back. And there's more information that are on our Facebook page and RKF website if you have more information or would like more information on that. So I'm just going to go to this next one here, and I'm kind of talking long here, and you know, these are just some kids in Haiti. We've got some of the best kids and some of the best programs, and like I said, just $5 a month, you're changing the life of just one individual. And you know, a lot of you are donors, and if you're on this call and new, we would just like, we know that there's lots of other foundations and charities out there to give to, but we would like for people just to take a look at the RKF and see what we're doing. This year we're celebrating 25 years, and we're very excited about that because we've been changing lives just like we have from a company and business. We've been doing it in the foundation as well. This next little slide is just a quick little story. This little guy out of the Philippines is named Bricks, and when he was discovered, we don't get many pictures like this or many stories, but and that's why you kind of see the same stories from time to time, but they're just very impactful. And if you've been around a while, I guess you've seen them. But if you're brand new, this is, you know, it's pretty impactful. And but this is just Bricks 6 months after starting in one of our programs in the Philippines. You know, he was one of 8 in the family. He was the very youngest. His father was a farmer, bananas, pineapples. Mother was a scavenger. But both parents were very cooperative and followed the instructions and how to take Relive. And you just see the difference. You can see it right there in his eyes. And he's healthy and doing well today. And like I said, when we find those stories, we like to share them. So just quickly moving on, these are some new pictures. These are ones just during the pandemic. I can tell you the Philippines, Haiti have been hit very hard by this pandemic, and they probably need more support than ever. And you kind of if you go to the next slide, just another picture out of the Philippines. Like I said, it's you know, this group, the Philippines, unlike the US, you know, they're so limited. You know, their shutdown orders were much more severe than ours. Grocery stores, you couldn't travel in and out of the city. It was, you know, they have such a high density of people with very little medical resources that this whole pandemic has been very difficult on them. So it has affected our feeding programs there in the Philippines. Next slide, it's affected them in Haiti as well. We can go to the final slide, or close to the final in the Haiti. This picture was just in Haiti, actually just a couple months ago, right before the pandemic. And like I said, Haiti was hit very hard and continues to kind of go through it. The testing, there's not a lot of testing down there. A lot of the Haitians are coming back from the Dominican where they find employment. They've lost their employment in the DR, so they're coming back to Haiti. They're bringing back the virus with them. And so it's hitting the Haitian country very, very hard. Dr. Mano's probably as busy as he's ever been. And the nutrition and things in Haiti at this point are very difficult. So we just continue to kind of pray for them. And then this very last slide is, I guess, just another new picture, and it just kind of depicts, you know, what I was talking about earlier with shake distribution in the Philippines. 5-gallon buckets. You actually see some ice in this, which you know, just for kids' standpoint, and in a hot Philippines, it makes the product even taste better when it's chilled like that. So Eileen, this is something I love to talk about. Could talk about it forever. I know that you've got a couple stories that you would like to close with and share, and hopefully I didn't take up too much time, but I appreciate the invites, and will always, you know, be happy to talk about it in the future with anybody. So Eileen, back to you.
Thank you so much, Scott. And as much as you would love to talk about it, we just can't hear it enough. That what I always tell people, nobody makes a dime in this company unless they make a difference in someone's life, and especially
That's right.
with those that can't afford it. So what I would like to do, just a couple, yes, Lyra Hobbs and her husband, they are down in Oklahoma. This is part of their church family, but the Kalogris Foundation has been very generous to help these families that are not able to help themselves financially and with nutrition. They've have been able to help the children that are suffering from severe ADD and autism. And it has just, Lyra and her husband had a chance to share at one of the conferences a couple years ago about the impact that it has made on their church, where Pastor Hobbs is the pastor, and on these families. And just a beautiful picture. I'm a little emotional here, so bear with me. So what I'd like to do before we finish up here, just give you an idea of some of the calls that are available during the week. We have a promotion in our organization, and every time you get on one of these calls and invite someone to join you, you earn points, and we have a leadership training weekend in Northern Michigan coming up here at the end of the month. So it's just important to always invite someone to get on the call with you. It's much more fun, and then you have a way to just bounce off of each other and talk about it afterwards. Okay, so let's just take a minute here talking about success while to see if my technology, okay, let's see what happens here. And Jen or Roger, if you can't see the screen, the video, please let me know.
Yeah, I can't see it, Eileen.
Okay.
Maybe Excel on training.
Eileen, you might have to stop sharing your screen and restarting it with a different window.
Eileen, I can send the link out to everyone on our webinar list, and they can watch it if you'd like. Eileen. Eileen, I can just send out the link since it's not working if you want to stop recording. And can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jen. I don't know who else can.
Okay. I know she's trying to, there's an awesome Kalogris video she's trying to pull up, but doesn't seem to be working, so. If you want to hang on and see if she gets it working fine. If not, I'll send a link out to everyone so you can watch it. Thanks, Eileen and Scott. Awesome job. Oh, she's calling me.
Yeah, thanks to everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Scott. She must have she's
Yeah,
calling me, so I think she probably accidentally got off. Hang on.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you being on. Appreciate all this great information.
Anytime. Yep. Thanks for having me. So I hope everybody's safe out there. So I know everybody's healthy, so that's good.
We're all safe with Relive.
There you go.
That's right.
Okay, everyone. She somehow got disconnected. Everyone have a fabulous day. Thanks so much,
Bye.
Scott. And
Bye.
Thanks, Jen.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
thanks so much. It was great.
You too.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Scott.
Bye-bye.